This last Thursday, we had the 2024 Game Awards. Normally, I stream it, we have a goof, a gaff, and maybe a laugh. But for my brother-in-law's birthday, my mom got us all tickets to Lion King, so I did not watch the show live. By the way, Lion King, great play. I missed the vast majority of the show. I have a general idea of what was announced, but I've only seen titles and haven't watched any trailers. For this recap, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to jump through the show, watching any trailers that I think I'll find interesting, give my opinion on them, and then once I've gone over all the announcements, I'll look at the awards, especially because I have a lot to say about the game of the year. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs within the first quarter of next year. Also, let me know what your game of the year was. Last year, I think it was pretty unanimously Baldur's Gate 3, but this year I feel like a lot of people are going to have different answers. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound looks pretty awesome. It seems like a lot of bigger studios have realized that people really like 2D platformers. Look how popular some 2D indie games have been over the last decade. It's a genre the mainstream has definitely neglected, so it's exciting to see a series like Ninja Gaiden return to its roots. Honestly, I've never been into the Ninja Gaiden games that much, but this might make me try out the series. Jumping through the trailers, I noticed there was a card roguelike game. I'm not really big in that genre, so I was just skipping through the trailer. And then I caught that it was Slay the Spire 2 at the end, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's like actually kind of huge. Again, I'm not into the genre at all, but I'm excited for people who are, because I've heard nothing but good things about the first one. What the hell is Shadow Labyrinth? Wait, that's a Pac-Man game? Alright, that actually looks really cool. I did hear on Blue Sky that there was a Pac-Man game inspired by the Secret Levels episode. I haven't watched the show yet. Don't even know if it's out. So I was expecting it to be something like the Pac-Man World games. Not a dark 2D Metroidvania? This is so out of left field, I love it. It's like I said earlier, big publishers are back on the 2D train. Thank you, Hollow Knight. Rematch looks like it can be very interesting. I'm not really that big into soccer. It's only really like this last year that I started to watch some international games. And that's only because Canada's men's team is like actually getting kind of good, but I've always felt that the sports genre really needs a shakeup. It's something I wanted to make a video on for a long time, but when the only companies making the games are EA and 2K, the genre is never reaching the heights that I think it can. But if more indie devs start to make really good sports games, I feel like we could put the pressure on them, and this game could be a good start to that trend. Okay, I saw the Muppets really quickly, so I want to talk about this. I heard that they did acknowledge the complaints from last year's Game Awards, and from the little bit that I saw, it did look like they improved on them, but I think most of it was the Muppets talking shit. I didn't see music playing anybody off during their speech, so I hope they did really take the criticism to heart. It was frustrating to see devs forced off stage last year, just so celebrities and Kojima could have a lot of screen time. Witcher 4 is one of the things I heard about last night. I dabbled in the third one, but didn't really get that far into it. I'm just not a high fantasy guy. While I respect everything that the games do, I would just greatly prefer them if they were like in a cyberpunk setting, you know? It was a very solid trailer, but I don't want to see CG trailers from CDPR anymore. I don't think what happened with launch Cyberpunk will ever happen again with them. They definitely learned their lesson. There's a reason why it made such a good comeback, because they're talented devs, and when they have the time they need to cook and aren't forced to crunch, they can make a fantastic game. But I think we already knew this game existed. I feel like they should have showed us some gameplay to ease fears that it's not going to be like Cyberpunk 1.0. That Spectre should continue to follow them so they don't fall back into their old ways. I was legitimately not expecting any co-op game from FromSoft, let alone an Elden Ring one, but I already know that game is going to be wildly popular. Again, it's a setting I'm not big on, in a genre I'm not really that big on, but I'm happy for the fans. Oh, Rebirth is coming to PC, and it's launching on Steam. Square is actually done with exclusivity then, eh? I wonder how long it's going to take for the games to come to Xbox. New Team Eco game is very surprising. It looked like the trailer didn't reveal a whole lot, but I'm down to see more from it. Honestly, there was so much time between Shadow of the Colossus and Last Guardian, I kind of forgot that they would still be making games. So I'm kind of happy they got in their shit together. A little bit ago, I was thinking about how it's been a while since The Outer Worlds 2 was announced. And I guess Obsidian somehow read my thoughts and gave us a new trailer. And as someone who's always preferred Fallout over Elder Scrolls, ever since I watched the show, I've been itching for a new Fallout, and this is the closest thing I'm going to be getting for a long time. Oh shit, March 6th? Oh hell yeah. Okay, so I really love Joseph Fares's games so much. Both A Way Out and It Takes Two are a blast to play. This was one of those games where I wish I was able to stream the event, because I know I would just have footage of the trailer and then me in my cam just kind of sitting there smiling, because everything I was seeing, I was like, oh, this game's going to be fun. That's why I reacted the way I did when he said the release date. I was not expecting it to come out in Q1 next year. Okay, I'm so excited for this game, man. It's likely that this is going to be my favorite game from the event. There's a couple things that I might care about more after seeing those trailers, but so far I know I'm in for a good ass game with this. Oh god, this dude is just so fucking likable. Like, it's kind of funny that he got famous for being the the Oscars guy. He is so wholesome, and you can tell every single time he talks at the Game Awards, he has so much passion for the industry. I don't think I have a hot take when it comes to Borderlands 3. I think I agree with most fans where the gunplay and the guns in the game were a huge step up from previous entries, and the writing and the story took a similar step in the wrong direction. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands did kind of show me that they learned from their mistake, but I am still a little bit worried about Borderlands 4. I trust the gunplay is going to be good, but I really hope that they learned from Borderlands 3. After the movie, we need a win right now, man. Virtua Fighter coming back? I don't care for. Legitimately have no attachment to that series whatsoever. This is just good for the FGC community. FGC community. But this is just good for the fighting game community. This genre has been thriving right now exclusively because of all the competition that's in it. So if this game makes a strong comeback, it's only going to be good for the industry. Earlier when I was talking about how there's probably only going to be 1 or 2 games that I'll end up liking more than Split Fiction, Project Sentry was the main one I was thinking about. If you guys have seen my digital footprint at all over the last 3 years, you would know how much I love the Like a Dragon games. And whether Project Sentry is a new series or not, I am always down for more open world games from RGG Studios. I imagine it's going to be coming out in 2026 if the Majima game is next year's release from them. I believe they recently said they want to release 1 game a year, so this is a ways out then. Which sucks because 1910s Japan is a setting that I don't think I've really seen anywhere else. Usually when a game wants to be set in Japan's past, they go pre-1900s. So I think it's going to be really cool seeing something that takes place in 1915 Tokyo. I have no doubt I'm going to love this game. I really hope this game's existence doesn't mean Judgment is dead, because Lost Judgment was so good and it would be a shame to never get a new one. Oh shit, a new Turok game? It's kind of neat, I guess. I don't know why it's in third person, though. I've been waiting for the Illuminids to come to Helldivers 2 for so long. Ever since we blew up that one planet and that black hole showed up, I've been waiting for this update. Helldivers 2 is legitimately the most fun multiplayer game I've played in a very long time. Like, I'm super happy it won the award for best multiplayer because I want this to be the next thing for multiplayer games. So I'm going to try to get some guys together for Helldivers because I want to play this update so bad. Okay, yeah, so I did only catch like the last hour of the show. So knowing what's left, I think there's only 2 things I want to talk about unless I'm forgetting about something. Oh yeah, Mafia still seems really neat. I think much like Project Sentry, this is an era of the Mafia that we don't really get to see that much in media, mostly because whenever we do go into the past, we pick different eras. We never go that far back for Mafia stuff. So I'm really interested to see where that game's going to go. And Mafia is exactly why I'm not completely rushing through this now, because I know there's stuff that I will forget to talk about, like the new Telltale game. I'm so excited for Dispatch. Oh, I guess it's not from Telltale, it's just people who worked at Telltale. I don't know what's going on with that company anymore. I just want the creatives to be making stuff, and I would definitely argue that Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands are their best games. Note, I only got 2 seasons into Walking Dead, so if it's the key people from those 2 games specifically, that makes me very excited for this one. I think Telltale's fall is really interesting because it is purely because they oversaturated their own market with themselves. But it's been so long since I played a game like theirs that wasn't Life is Strange strange that whenever I see anything from the creators of insert Telltale game here, I get so excited. And a superhero dispatcher is such a fun idea. I'm so excited for that game. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Sam Lake's speech was perfect. That was so good. I really hope he becomes a mainstay at the Game Awards. Had me thinking he was going to show off Max Payne remake though. The Okami sequel is something that I pegged pretty early into the trailer. Just watching it, even before I heard Amaterasu, I was like, oh, this is giving some Okami vibes, eh? I was already like pretty on board with it despite never playing the original, but the announcement that Hideki Kamiya is coming back is huge. Out of all of the things I was able to catch live, that got an audible reaction out of me. That's going to be good. I'm so happy Capcom's doing that. I like to imagine that the only reason why we're getting this game now is because all of the different re-releases of Okami have finally made enough money to fund a sequel. I'm going to be honest, the only reason why I'm on board with Naughty Dog's new game is because it's a new IP from a big studio and is sci-fi. I am in the camp of people who have been criticizing them for hyper-focusing too much on The Last of Us recently, because this is exactly what I want from them. I think I'm just so thirsty for new IPs that even when a studio I'm not the biggest fan of, like Naughty Dog, announces one, I'm like, yes, give me Intergalactic, please. Do something new and fun. Okay, and I believe that is all the announcements, which would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that we once again did not get to see a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 or Hollow Knight Silksong. Okay, so that's fully on me for expecting a KH4 trailer. I know Keeley posted about visiting Nomura and the Kingdom Hearts team after Summer Games Fest, which had me thinking they were showing him Kingdom Hearts 4, which I guess is still plausible. But I am just so thirsty for I'm just so thirsty for Kingdom Hearts news, man. There's not that many days left in 2024, and they said Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was coming out this year, and they haven't told us it's been delayed yet. So they are rapidly running out of time. Hollow Knight, I haven't played it, so I'm not that invested in it. I completely feel their pain right now. So yeah, I'm going to start a support group for Hollow Knight and Kingdom Hearts fans. Call it the KHHK support group or something. Is it completely my fault for expecting Kingdom Hearts 4 to show up at the Game Awards? Yes. Does that mean I could not be sad about it? No. Damn it. I think the most frustrating part about it is that we are in a very interesting time for the Kingdom Hearts series. So it feels like I'm standing in front of like a big ass wall and I just want to know what's on the other side of it. But like, I can't climb that shit. So that was it for the announcements. But for the awards, I'm happy with what won, honestly. I don't really have a lot to comment on with them, excluding Game of the Year. Personally, I would have picked Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for Best RPG over Metaphor. Astro Bot winning Game of the Year is the healthiest choice they could have gone with. It's not my choice, but I think it should have won for two reasons. One, I really disagree with the direction that PlayStation has been going in over the last handful of years. And two, the speech leading into the reveal describes Astro Bot perfectly. PlayStation very clearly only cares about two types of games right now: $150 million games and live service games. I remember the latter of the two was something they very specifically wanted to focus on with this gen. The expensive games are starting to lead in droughts in PlayStation's lineup, which is why they said they aren't releasing any big titles until next year. I don't know about you, but all the headlines covering it made it seem like PlayStation just had no games coming out in 2024, but they published Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Astro Bot, and some other multiplayer game that I can't remember. To be fair, they said there weren't going to be any new major existing PS franchise titles, so that does take out Stellar Blade and Helldivers. But Astro Bot, I would say, has become a mainstay for PlayStation since the PS4. The PS4 camera thing had one, PSVR had one, PS5 launched with one, and now a full title won Game of the Year. But it seems like PlayStation didn't really care about it, doesn't it? I feel like that signals to your audience that you're not comfortable in your lineup this year. If I released a game published by PS this year and I saw this article, I would think that my publisher didn't value me, because if it doesn't cost around $200 million, it's lesser, I guess. I think what really showed that PS doesn't value Astro Bot is the fact that they closed down Japan Studios, a long-running PS studio that rose from the ashes and formed Team Asobi. They most likely closed down Japan Studios because they make smaller non-live service games. Team Asobi should be celebrated for their accomplishments. PlayStation deserves no credit. They actively cut down this team and deemed what they make lesser. I think it's really telling that they thank some mysterious company based in Kyoto for longer than they thanked their bosses at PlayStation. After what they did to them, why would they? There's a lot, and I mean a lot, you can criticize Nintendo for, but they're the only publisher doing what Sven said in his speech. I think it's really funny that Spider-Man 2, the only type of single-player game that PlayStation cares about, got absolutely rolled at last year's Game Awards. But this small little game from them swept. They must have felt like the Principal Skinner meme when Astro Bot was being praised while Concord was completely falling apart. I do think there's room for big budget and live service games, but that can't be all you focus on. I hope Astro Bot winning GOTY makes PlayStation and all the publishers rethink what they're doing. As for my second point, Sven Vinka's speech is beautiful. In a matter of minutes, he talks about everything that is wrong with gaming right now. This speech made me go on a bit of a rant when I was initially recording this video because it gave me an outlet for a lot of the frustration that I've had with the industry and how people criticize it. It does have its issues, but sometimes when I see online outrage, it's people yelling about what they think the problem is, and they're completely missing the mark. If you think the problem is anything other than what he said, I hate to break it to you, but you're wrong. Go watch the speech if you haven't. It's so good. My only issue with the speech and the outcome is that any good that'll come from this small budget game winning Game of the Year will be completely undone when the billion-dollar beast that is GTA 6 wins next year. That's something I'll get into in a later video, but I have a bad feeling that GTA 6 is going to be the worst thing to happen to the game industry. Not because I think it's going to be bad. In fact, it's probably going to get tens across the board. But I know any publisher looking at Astro Bot right now and thinking to themselves, maybe we should make smaller games, is going to see GTA 6 make all of the money in the world 5 times over and then think, oh, never mind, we need to spend more money. I'll try to make a video about it sometime next year. But yeah, congrats to Team Asobi for winning Game of the Year. You guys truly deserve it. PlayStation, take this as a sign to rethink what you're doing. And Sven Vinka, I have so much respect for you right now. Thank you for getting up in front of the entire industry and telling them what you are doing is wrong. Overall, pretty good show. Kinda hate how the one time I couldn't stream the Game Awards, it was most likely going to be my favorite one, but what are you going to do? Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Like the video if you didn't think about an outro joke to put here when you started saying this line, and subscribe for more content. Follow me on other platforms if you want. Take care, guys.